Hi, I'm Daniel Madison. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me when you could be doing other things. Thanks. Yes. I am looking forward to this video. I did promise everybody a while back that I would use this platform, use my YouTube channel to teach, to offer free tutorials. Is it tutorials or tutorials? I don't know. One of my main roles, one of the main things I do, for 20 years I've been a teacher of magic, of sleight-of-hand, of deceptive methods. It's a big part of how I've made a living for the past 20 years. I always try when I put something out, when I released a publication that taught sleight-of-hand or a deceptive method, I did my best to make it as cheap as possible. Now when you work for a bigger company, ultimately it's up to them how much they charge for a technique, for a download, for a DVD, for streaming a trick. So most of the time it hasn't really been my call. Whenever I put things out independently on my website, I do my best to keep them as cheap as possible. I'm trying to uphold this reputation of being the most generous person in my industry. To aid that and to support that, I'm going to try my best to offer a free tutorial on magic, on sleight of hand, on training in the deceptive methods. That being said, companies do need to keep the lights turned on, and people like me, I'm an independent artist. So when you pick up something that's not free, when it's not free, it usually means it's a really intricate thing, a really specifically detailed, structured lesson in deception. So it has to become kind of a product rather than a free thing. And in picking those things up, you're showing support to the independent artist. But because I'm an independent artist, and because I use YouTube, and I'm trying to use YouTube as much as possible to show how thankful and grateful I constantly am at the support and at all the love, I am going to try my best to give away as many free tutorials as possible. I'm so excited to be filming this video today. I've taught this before in a few different projects, and when I was writing my list of tutorials I want to put on YouTube, this was at the top of the list. Get yourself a deck of playing cards. This video is going to be about a half an hour long, I guess, I imagine, but it will be 30 minutes well spent. I am Daniel Madison. This is the Madison Shift. Now, I know that you're thinking, because I can read minds, I know that you're thinking, Daniel, what the swear word is the Madison Shift? And I'm so glad you asked. The Madison Shift is a deceptive method for nullifying the cut in a card game. What the F swear word does that mean? Let's say you're playing a card game, you're the one shuffling the cards, it's your turn to deal, and you're controlling all four of the kings because you are a deceptive mother swear word, just like me. Once you've done shuffling the playing card, you have to put the deck down, and the opponent gets to F up your manipulation. They get to ruin your manipulation by applying a final cut. If you have controlled all four kings to the bottom or the top of the deck, and then your opponent cuts the deck, that will ruin it for you. Unless you can manipulate that backwards, unless you can nullify the cut. Once your opponent cuts the deck and you take the deck back, you can apply a pass or a shift, and either one of these will restore the order of the deck before it was cut. This is what we mean by nullifying the cut. So the Madison Shift, for example, all four kings are on the bottom of the deck. The opponent cuts those kings into the middle of the deck. I take the deck back. I execute the Madison Shift, and those four kings are back on the bottom of the deck, exactly where I need them for my deception. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do that, as well as other things that you can do with the Madison Shift, restoring the order of the deck back to how it was before your opponent cut the cards. In this video, I'm going to teach you two methods for the Madison Shift, one in the hands, one on the table. I'm also going to teach you how to use the Madison Shift for false dealing. Once the deck has been thoroughly shuffled by an opponent, as soon as you take the deck back with seemingly no manipulation whatsoever, you can instantly deal four kings from the top of the deck, fairly from the top of the deck It is possible. It is possible. I am Daniel Madison, and this is the Madison Shift. So the teaching of the Madison Shift begins with very simple and basic exposure of the sleight of hand, of the technique, of the mechanics. So very simply, you're going to hold the deck in a dealer's grip. I call this the Madison grip. There's a reason why I call it the Madison grip, explained in my masterclass series. You're going to hold it in a dealer's grip, and essentially what's happening here is the first thing I'll teach is the shift as a false cut. So you're basically doing a false cut. And the reason it's a shift, a pass means that you pull the top half underneath. A shift means that you shift the bottom half to the top. I know that they're the same thing, but just for the intricacies of explaining deceptive techniques, this is a shift. We are shifting the bottom half of the deck to the top and then putting them back in that position, and we're going to hide all of that, all of those deceptions. It's going to look like a simple cut. Here's what's happening. The bottom half is pushed over to the side like this, and it is clipped into the free hand, into my right hand. So the bottom half shifts over. I've now clipped that bottom half between this little crevice thing here between fingers 3 and 4. And then finger 2 holds it in position here. So it's kind of like a lateral palm, a modified lateral palm with half the deck. Just before we even get deeply into this, I always take less than half a deck. It's so much easier to take less than half a deck, and there's no point making things difficult for yourself. If you take too many cards when you're gripping like this, the hand isn't going to look relaxed. We'll get to that in a second. So to get into that position, the deck is in a dealer's grip like this, and you're going to pivot. You're going to cut that bottom third. Let's use a third. I'm going to cut the bottom third. It's going to grip between the deck hand in the basically the center of the palm, and the pinky is going to grip the other side. So it looks like this. So you've got this big gap here. The free hand is on top, and it looks like you're just holding the deck. This happens. So this corner, the bottom, the back left corner of the entire deck is against the center, the base of the palm, so that this pivot action can happen with this bottom packet. So you can swing it like this. So once you've got that break at the back, once you're holding a bit of a gap, you can hold the top half, and you're going to pivot this to the side. It's completely hidden by the dealing hand, and you're going to only push it over a little bit, a tiny bit, so it looks like this, and it's just enough room to feed this corner into the crevice here between fingers 3 and 4. You'll find your hand is naturally in that position anyway, so this has now gone into that crevice, is that the right word? And instantly finger 2 is already in position, so I'm now holding that bottom packet between the crevice and finger 2. It's a very simple non-thing, and it will take practice in front of a mirror to make this look like nothing's going on. Like I just did it then, there's a little bit going on, but it's a very dead moment. So you do this while you're explaining what's about to happen, or while you're passing the deck from one hand to the other, the way that I just did. So starting here, when I pass it to this hand slowly, I can very simply shift that packet into the grip, into position right here. So once that's been done, like this, it's in position, this hand holds everything in place. If you can't hold everything in place with this hand, then something's gone wrong. You need to aim to be able to hold everything in position in this hand, just like that. I'll show you once again that happening. Down, across, grip, very, very simple. So once you get into that position, we're now in that position, I find a moment where my hands separate and relax. I then come back to take the deck like this, so I'm back in position. The top 2/3 grip the deck in a dealer's position, but they're gripped with the base of the hand here and the thumb on top. And then now we're gonna use finger one as well underneath, pressing up. Now you want to move the right hand away, taking that bottom packet with it. So I'm taking this away secretly. I'll do that whole thing all in one go. So I move it over here, and I'll take the deck back, and this hand tries to look as relaxed as possible while it holds that entire third. This needs to look like a complete deck. Now there are a few things you can do. You can just tilt it like this so that people are mainly looking at the top, or you can do what I do, relax your hand and let the cards slide a little bit. There's no way of telling that there are cards missing when the deck's quite messy like this. So it goes clip, move, take this away. This hand is relaxed, fingers closed. You don't want any windows where you can see through, see what's going on. Bear in mind you're only in this position for a moment, for a very brief moment. So the deck's over here. I can show the top card. We'll use this as a cut. So the King of Diamonds, I show the top card. Now you can do this, you can use this hand to turn that card over, and then point to the king, turn it back, and then go cut. The king is here, complete the cut, straighten up, show the king back on top, and the deck did not change order. Let's look at that final move, the move that completes the deception. So we take the deck, the bottom third swings over, I steal it, wait for a moment, I can show the top card. I'm now gonna use this hand to apparently cut the deck in half, but what's really happening is this. This comes over the top, right all the way over the top. As this arrives on the top, you want your thumb to reach the back of this packet and the back of this packet at the same time, like this. The motion of that thumb moving completely blinds people from seeing this. You can see a discrepancy even with a white back card, but as soon as my thumb moves over, that is completely hidden. Even if I do it like this, the thumb moving just seems to cause this illusion where that packet just seems invisible. So the thumb is going to reach the back as the packet arrives, like this. So it's going to look like I'm just taking that packet from the top, and that is essentially the Madison Shift. Like this, I put this down because the king's here. When I do this move, it looks like the king's here now, and that is the deception. So one nice touch that I do, especially when I put this into a performance or into a magic trick, I come here, put this down, and then push the top card forward and put the deck on top. I straighten up, and now I can prove the king is still here. Not only that, if you want to overprove, you can show that the order of the deck didn't actually change, proving that this is a shift. So they are the basic mechanics of the Madison Shift. I want to do a very quick overview of the mechanics that's happening underneath. I don't want to leave you asking questions, so I'm going to use my little friend, the glass deck, the Omni deck, and we're going to use just a third of the deck. We're going to use all of the spades, actually a quarter of the deck. Underneath, hold the deck like this, that bottom packet pivots across so you can see it through the deck now what's happening. You can see it held in position, and now you can see it leave. Cut the deck, done. Probably very unnecessary, but I just like using this thing, so I thought I'd do a very quick overview where you can see through it. Once again, shift, take the deck, complete the shift. So I actually came up with this as a way of dealing playing cards directly from a deck that's been cut, so manipulating a deal. We'll get to that in a minute, because I think in terms of learning and teaching as well, for me, it's easier for me to show you the cut and show you the easy things first. So we already know the false cut. I'll do it with the king face up, actually, so you can actually see that discrepancy. King here and here. There is a second way of doing this, which I really do love, which is on the table. So you can actually do this while the deck is on the table. You do have to do the first bit first, which is shifting the bottom third into the hand, and then you put the deck down. So we're going to take the deck. We have the deck. I shift that bottom third into position, and then I put the deck down. Looks like I'm empty-handed. I have a third of the deck here, or less than a third. It feels like, doesn't matter. In fact, it's probably better that you do take less than a third in this occasion, because this might seem like there's a lot of cards missing, but the same thing applies when I put the deck down to the table. I'm gonna make it a little bit messy, a little bit scruffy like this. Now when I straighten up and move the deck here, I'm gonna go cut the deck apparently in half with this hand. Instead, I'm not taking a single playing card, I'm just showing these, so I can show the top card, King of Diamonds. I'm then going to come over with this hand and cut the deck in half, cutting the king inside. And obviously nothing happened, the king is still here. Very, very simple, there's not much I need to explain here. The bottom packet is cut to the side, deck is put down, I show the top card, King of Diamonds. I cut the king into the middle of the deck, and then it's on top. I'll do that completely exposed now. So to the side, a third, deck goes down, show the king, straighten up, I take half the deck, show the king there, straighten up, show the king on top, then show the deck completely in order if I want to. I mean, if this is a gambling demonstration and you want to prove that you have nullified the cut, then you have to show the deck in order. You don't have to, but it's useful, and it's to your advantage if you can show the deck in full deck order. So those are the few ways of false cutting the deck for the actual Madison Shift. Now I want to show you the difficult, not so difficult, but I want to show you the more useful work and the reason why I came up with the Madison Shift. Now my one pet peeve, the one big problem that I never appreciated when it comes to shifts or cuts, is the fact that, let's say I need the 3 of clubs and it's here, so I take the deck, I have to do a pass, and then I can deal the 3 of clubs. All that action is so unnecessary, and so alarm bells start ringing when I see things like that take place. I wanted to come up with a way of simply taking the deck and instantly dealing the manipulated cards. So I came up with the Madison Shift. So we're going to use the kings. I'll take all 4 kings. As I'm in control of the deck, I'm the one shuffling the cards or manipulating these cards. So to use this as a kind of magic trick, we can put the kings into the middle. I can then shuffle the cards. I can then give the deck, ideally in this position, if it was a poker game, or I guess because we're doing a magic trick, I can give the deck to somebody else to shuffle or to cut. So when I give them the deck, I steal the 4 kings away underneath in the same way. So I manipulate the kings to the bottom, I shift them over in the exact same style as the Madison Shift, so the clips between finger 2 and the crevice of finger 3. Tell me if that's the wrong word, by the way. If that's, I don't know what this part is called, so I just call it a crevice. Anyway, so the kings are shifted into the shift position, and the deck is given up for a cut or for a shuffle. Now, when the deck's brought back, in this case, this is what I wanted to achieve, and this move does achieve that. The deck is placed on the table. Now, when I pick the deck up, I instantly, from the moment I pick the deck up, want to be able to deal 4 kings from the top of the deck without any of this passage nonsense. I almost said a swear. Without any of that passing nonsense and time wasted. I want it to be instant. So now I take the deck with one hand and I go straight to dealing 1. Let me do that again because I'm too busy looking at the camera. I go from here, I pick the deck up, straight away 1, 2, 3, 4, deck goes down. We can show 4 aces. Now, this is very obvious once you know the method and once you know the shift. But when you perform this for somebody who doesn't know what's coming, especially people who play cards, it seems impossible because that's what it's designed to look like. The deck is here. I pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 very fair deals from the top of the deck, and they are the manipulated kings. For the sake of the whole routine, the deck is still in order because all I did was shift the kings to the bottom of the deck, so the kings go inside. I do a squeeze shift, get them to the bottom, and then I did a false in the hands riffle shuffle. The kings are now on the bottom of the deck. Still, the deck is still in order. I riffle off 4 cards, the 4 kings, shift them to the side in position, give the deck up for whatever. Shuffling, cutting. In this case, there's no one here other than you and me, so I pick the deck up, I go straight for the deal, directly for the deal. I pick the deck up. Here's what happens: the thumb goes back and joins just like before, but I take the top card, and now I can just fairly deal the next cards. Now, I came up with this for card tables because I didn't want to take a classic pass or any kind of shift that I'd learned to a card game, so I came up with this. It's worked for me in the past because of that one very fair moment when the deck's been given up to cut. It is cut, I take it back and instantly start dealing playing cards without hesitation, without any funny business going on before. And in terms of magic and performances, it offers the same thing, especially when other magicians or card people are watching. They see that you didn't manipulate the deck in any way. You simply picked it up and did the deal of the manipulated cards. And just to offer a final kind of simple performance note, this can be used for a very, very simple idea of simply controlling a selected playing card to the top. We'll use the King of Hearts. You control it to the top, false shuffle, and then ask them what that card was. And while you're asking them, you shift half the deck. And when they say King of Hearts, you then cut the deck and show that you just cut straight to the King of Hearts. So that is the Madison Shift. So looking at the potential issues and problems with the mechanics and actually getting into the position and executing the position, as with all sleight of hand and all deceptive methods, this does bring along with it a few things that will concern you when you're practicing and when you're doing it. Specifically, the moment where you have to take the bottom third out and then bring it back. When you've done it as much as me, you don't think about it too much because it does become a second nature, but you can find different and you can create different motivations for, instead of just cutting the deck. If you were going to just cut the deck, you would pick the deck up and do this, right? So a discrepancy that the Madison Shift brings with it is I pick the deck up, I'm wasting a bit of time here, and then I do the cut. Now, nobody cares about that time wasting, but it will cross your mind the way that it did with me. And back when I was developing this idea, I came up with answers, I came up with motivations to cover why I'm doing that, which is very unnecessary but very worth the mention, especially for people learning who might ask themselves the same questions. I used to use the box as a little bit of a motivation. I'd purposefully put the box here. And for this demonstration, I'm going to keep the kings face up on top, and I'm going to put them inside. So I'm going to cut the kings into the middle of the deck, and now I'm going to deal those kings from the middle of the deck. But there's a box in my way, so I move the box out of the way first, and then I deal the kings perfectly. Now, this didn't just offer a distraction from the sleight-of-hand technique, but it gave me a motivation to do that strange move, because the kings on this half of the deck, when I put them inside or when I cut the deck, I don't complete the cut. I simply shift this packet into position. So it looks like I'm just cutting the deck, but I just put them into position. That was really obvious, because I guess I'm not trying to hide this too much. I cut them into the middle, and they're not actually in the middle, they're gripped right in the position, right where I need them already. So from the start, they're already there. So I have to get those cards from that position to the top so that I can deal them, which means I have to move my hand to the side to bring it back, or forward to bring it back. Now, over time I realized it doesn't really make a difference. I don't have to have motivation other than just taking a moment to put my hands down and rest before I do the move. But if you need motivation, and if you are worried about that, I used to use the box. I put the box here, I'm already in position. I would then move the box out of the way with the dirty hand, and then when I come back, I just execute the move instantly. So for the deal, the 4 kings go inside, I move the box out of the way, and now I just go straight into dealing the 4 kings. And I can do the same thing exactly, just with the cut. The kings are on top, I kick a third over to the side, I come away to kick the box out of the way, I come back and execute the Madison Shift. And this just acted as motivation. One thing I used to do, especially with the deal, so let's just get into position for the deal. The deal of the cards, they would be in position. I would take the deck in this hand, and I would pretend that there is actually some kind of little speckles, some little smurfs on my table, so I can pretend to brush them away or I can actually brush them away with the dirty hand. So I'm holding the kings, I brush those out of the way. Now I'm in position like this to come back perfectly lined up to deal those 4 kings. Thanks for watching, thanks for learning. Practice is going to be essential. If you want to get good at this move, if you want to be executing this move like an expert, like a boss, you need to practice in front of a mirror and be hard on yourself. Don't let yourself off. I don't want to see no swear word hands that look weird, that look like you're holding playing cards. I think that's going to be the hardest part of it, making the dealing hand look fair. The only way you're going to get away with that, or the only way you're going to become an expert at that, is to be tough. Be tough on yourself in front of a mirror. Don't have any windows. Don't make your hand look like a weird alien hand that has to look really relaxed and calm. This will give away the shift more than this hand. Practice, and if you're going to perform it on film, and if you're going to use it anywhere, tag me in it, show me. I'll be more than happy to give you my advice, my feedback. Thank you so much for learning this move. And also in the comment section, I'm going to try to do at least one a month. There's another one coming next week. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Tell me what you want me to teach next in the comments, because I want to be guided by you, and I don't want to teach things that you don't really want to learn. I know I've taught the Madison Shift in a few different places already, but I definitely wanted it to be a part of this platform. I wanted it to be the first one that I taught. If you know me, if you know my moves, if you've read my work, if you've seen my work, let me know what you want me to teach here. Otherwise, I already have a huge list of things that I'm going to teach. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button so that you get notified every time I post a video. I will be back very soon with a very special announcement to do with playing cards that I can barely keep a secret. I can't say it in this video though, I'll save it for next time. All that's left for me to say right now is thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time, and if I can encourage anybody to pick up a deck of playing cards and practice something that will keep your mind occupied, exercise your fingers. Playing cards and learning sleight of hand is the most therapeutic thing. If you're the kind of person who can't keep still and can't keep your fingers still, playing cards might be for you. Pick up a deck of playing cards, start practicing. Thank you so much for being back here. Thanks for choosing to spend your time with me. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I try and get back to every single comment left in all of my videos. By the way, the AMA is on the way. I'm about to film that. I'm waiting for somebody special to come up here to film it with. I won't tell you who that is right now. I appreciate everything, especially the likes. I'm Daniel Madison. This has been the Madison Shift. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you next time.